great Bible Belt. My small town of Bon Temps, barely big enough to have its own Walmart, didn't even see a vampire for 2 years after they'd announced their existence and their intention to live peaceably amongst us. Maybe that delay was good, since local folks had had a chance to get used to the idea by the time Bill showed up. But I had a feeling that this PC vamp tolerance would vanish if my fellow townsfolk knew about wares and shifters and fairies and who knows what all else. Okay, Claudine. When? The rowdy table was hooting, "Crazy Sookie, crazy Sookie." People only did that when they'd had too much to drink. I was used to it, but it still hurt. When do you get off tonight? We fixed it that Claudine would pick me up at my house 15 minutes after I got off work. She left without finishing her beer, or tipping. My boss, Sam Merlot, nodded ahead toward the door through which she'd just exited. What did the fairy want? Sam's a shifter himself. She needs me to do a job for her. Where? Wherever she lives, I guess. She has a brother, did you know? Want me to come with you? Sam is a friend, the kind of friend you sometimes have fantasies about. X-rated. Thanks, but I think I can handle Claudine. You haven't met the brother. I'll be okay. I'm used to being up at night, not only because I'm a barmaid, but also because I had dated Bill for a long time. When Claudine picked me up at my old house in the woods, I'd had time to change from my Merlot's outfit into some black jeans and a sage green twin set, JCPenney on sale, since the night was chilly. I'd let my hair down from its ponytail. You should wear blue instead of green, Claudine said, to go with your eyes. Thanks for the fashion tip. You're welcome. Claudine sounded happy to share her style sense with me, but her smile, usually so radiant, seemed tinged with sadness. What do you want me to find out from these people? I asked. We'll talk about it when we get there, she said, and after that, she wouldn't tell me anything else as we drove east. Ordinarily, Claudine babbles. I was beginning to feel it wasn't smart of me to have accepted this job. Claudine and her brother lived in a big ranch-style house in suburban Monroe, a town that not only had a Walmart, but a whole mall. She knocked on the front door in a pattern. After a minute, the door opened. My eyes widened. Claudine hadn't mentioned that her brother was her twin. If Claude had put on his sister's clothes, he could have passed for her. It was eerie. His hair was shorter, but not by a lot. He had it pulled back to the nape of his neck, but his ears were covered. His shoulders were broader, but I couldn't see a trace of a beard, even this late at night. Maybe male fairies don't have body hair? Claude looked like a Calvin Klein underwear model. In fact, if the designer had been there, he'd have signed the twins on the spot, and there'd have been drool all over the contract. Claude stepped back to let us enter. This is the one, he said to Claudine. She nodded. Sookie, my brother Claude. A pleasure, I said. I extended my hand. With some surprise, he took it and shook. He looked at his sister. She's a trusting one. Humans, Claudine said, and shrugged. Claude led me through a very conventional living room, down a paneled hall to the family room. A man was sitting in a chair, because he had no choice. He was tied to it with what looked like nylon cord. He was a small man, buff, blonde, and brown-eyed. He looked about my age, 26. Hey, I said, not liking the squeak in my voice. Why is that man tied? Otherwise, he'd run away, Claude said, surprised. I covered my face with my hands for a second. Listen, you two, I don't mind looking at this guy if he's done something wrong, or if you want to eliminate him as a suspect in a crime committed against you, but if you just want to find out if he really loves you or something silly like that, what's your purpose? We think he killed our triplet, Claudette. I almost said, there were 3 of you? Then realized that wasn't the most important part of the sentence. You think he murdered your sister? Claudine and Claude nodded in unison. Tonight, Claude said. Okie dokie, I muttered and bent over the blonde. I'm taking the gag off.